In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your rear brakes on your Ford Focus. It's located behind the rear wheel. Using a 19mm socket, we're going to remove our wheel. If you ever get your lug nut stuck in your socket, you can put it back on for a thread or two and get it out that way. You can either use wire cutters and pull them out, or you can, if that doesn't move, you can use a small flathead screwdriver and pry it out. I also put some penetrating oil in here, so if your car is as rusty as this, you're going to want to do that. Using a 10mm socket, we're going to see if our bleeder screw comes free. So when we compress our piston, we're not in for any surprises. Looks like we're good. You're going to want to open your bleeder when we compress our piston. You're going to want to take your caps off where the slides are. So use a flathead screwdriver and push them off. There's another one on the top. Set those aside, and now you're going to get your 7mm Allen wrench socket and loosen these up. Once you get that one started, you can do the top. Take away my extension and use my battery operated ratchet. If you want the slide to come all the way out, you can tip it up after it's been taken out of the threads, and you can take it out that way. Now we're going to get a pry bar and pull this off. You are going to want a caliper holder or a bungee cord over here before you take it off, so you can hang it up so it doesn't add too much stress to that hose. Sometimes they can be a little tough to get off. Take your pad off in the front and suspend this over here somewhere. I ended up using a bungee cord and I placed it above the spring. Using a 13mm socket and an extension, we're going to go through this access hole and take off the 2 bolts for the bracket. I take that completely out, I'm going to go to my top one and break it free. Take that bolt out, set it aside. Do the same in the bottom. Make sure you have another hand on the bracket as you take this bolt out. Remove the bolt and the bracket. Remove your rotor. You're going to want to clean up this hub. I'm going to start with a rag since we have a lot of anti-seize on ours. Now you can get a wire brush and just get any rust off, build up. You want a clean surface when you put that rotor on. Clean it off, including a dust plate. Make sure you have a drip pan below to catch anything. And we're going to put our own anti-seize on now. Let the excess drip if it's runny like ours. Now put your rotor on. I like to hold my rotor on with a lug nut so it stays still while I'm doing my bracket. All right, we're going to open up our bleeder screw now so we can compress our caliper. And now for this, you can use a tool specifically made for this type of piston where you got to turn it in. You can use a tool like this. Ours doesn't really match up, so I'm just going to use my needle nose pliers. Yeah. Line up your needle nose pliers that have a bend to them, push in, and turn it. And you're going to keep going around and around and around until it's compressed. All right, if your needle nose isn't allowing you to push in your piston because you need more pressure, you're going to need a tool like this. This is a special tool designed just for this purpose. You're going to fit the two feet right into those holes. Like that. And then you're going to tighten this up. And that's going to apply the pressure you need as you turn in that piston. And then you're going to have to tighten this part up as you go to keep the pressure on. And as you can see, the old brake fluid is leaving the piston. As you compress it in. It looks like we're bottomed out at this point, so we're going to remove our tool. Tighten up that bleeder screw. Remove your pad. And now we're going to clean this up. Using a wire brush, you're going to clean in between here. You want to get all the brake dust off and rust. You're going to want to get a little screwdriver and get in the cracks here, little crevices, and get the rest off. Make it as clean as possible. You want to brake clean it off. If you need to, you can use this to get anything else off. Make sure it just doesn't grind into the metal. All right, looks like we're ready to install. You're going to clean off your slider pins. You want to get any of the old stuff off before reinstalling. It's a good time to check your pins, make sure they're not pitted or rusty. Yeah, we're going to put some silicone paste on them. Now let's go prepare our other side on the car. Clean out these before putting new silicone paste. You want to get the dirt and brake dust out. I'm using a punch with a rag. After you're done, you're going to apply silicone paste in there as well. You're going to let that hang there. And put some of this in there. Also on the top one. You can use your pins to help get the grease in there. And now let's install. Line up your bracket with your bolt holes and get those started. We're going to snug these up and torque them to 52 foot-pounds. Now we're going to put some silicone paste on our bracket. You can finger paint it in there. Don't put too much, you just want a very thin layer. That'll help the pads slide because there's no tins. Now we're going to put our pads in. The one with the butterfly spring clip is on the inside, up against the piston, and the one without is on the outside. Now we're going to unbungee our caliper on the top here. Take that out of the car. Lower it into position. Make sure that isn't sticking out, that clip. And we're going to put our slides in. Get them started by hand. Snug them up. We're going to be torquing these to 21 foot-pounds. Put your caps in there. Put your bleeder cap back on. Take your lug nut off the front if you used one to hold your rotor on. And wipe off any excess silicone paste. You don't want that on your rotor. Now we're going to put this on, insert it into the hole, get your other one in on the bottom, make sure it's fully in there, and then push it in. Put your wheel back on. Start your lug nuts by hand. Using a 19mm socket, we're going to torque our wheels to 100 foot-pounds. We're going to do that in a star-like pattern.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.